I want to move on to a topic that actually came from Reddit. And the headline I'm going with is why Bungie is handling nerfing incorrectly. And this was inspired kind of by somebody on Reddit. His name is Chaosital.
Way to practice that one, Destin.
I don't know. Chaoxy. Well, you put an XY in your name. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, he's saying the newest shot. This is about weapon nerfing in general because they released the patch notes today, and I thought this would be a good way for us to discuss it. So thank you for the topic. The newest shotgun. This is from him. The newest shotgun nerf is proof we need separation of PvE and PvP weapon balancing. This is getting absolutely out of control. This is from the Reddit user. I kind of agree with him. I do agree that weapons should be patched separately for PvE versus PvP because what they've done to shotguns is now pretty ridiculous. They're nerfing the range again. This is from him. They're nerfing reload time, stability, ready stow speed, aim down sight speed, movement speed while equipped, and artificially adding frame delay after sprinting. And he's like, just remove them from the game.
Shotguns?
Yes, shotguns. But shotguns are getting another huge nerf this
You don't think
week.
they need it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's like...
In PvP, sure, who cares about PvE?
Yeah, you're saying... Well, but they do separate that. You know what I mean? Like they do. I'm sorry, not that in particular upgrade, but they do that on some guns where it only
on some guns. They didn't this week. At this point, like the shotguns are just like they're nerfing them on PvE side, and it's not really necessary. They work fine.
Yeah, I would agree.
For PvE
PvE
encounters,
not a major issue, and we're gonna have to see if the new balance is as bad as maybe it's making it sound. But I think it's much needed in PvP.
Yeah.
So I do think, I don't know. I think they think about. Well, I know they think about this a lot. They have entire groups and testing arenas for this stuff. But it does take getting it out in the wild to be sure. I'm more interested in auto rifles versus pulse. Like auto just still is
auto.
Not,
so autos were like king in PvP for a long time, and then they nerfed them early on in year one, and now they're basically useless. They're trying to get them back to be a contender, and they're close. They gave them another little nudge in December or whenever this update comes out. Does anybody know? It's December, right?
Oh, the date.
Yeah.
Did they name the exact date? I thought they just said early December.
Anyway, I don't want to speak definitively on that one because I don't have it in front of me. But
it is coming soon.
It is coming very soon. And anyway, the point is they keep putting out these weapon patches, and sometimes they just make guns basically useless. Like they're not a contender in multiplayer.
Yeah, I really wanted to use auto rifles, and I tried, and it just wasn't there for me.
I want auto rifles back too. That is the gun that I like to use, and the game's just not balanced in a way where you can do that.
But that's what they're doing.
You have to use Hawkmoon, which is getting nerfed to be unusable. No,
come on, here we go.
Hawkmoon's going to go away, in my opinion.
Destin Legary moment.
No,
they're changing range. That's it.
They are again.
They're also reducing the amount of damage it does when it proxies.
I don't think it was anything significant.
Yeah, it's from
1.3
to 1.2.
To 1.2.
I think it's going to have a dramatic impact on Hawkmoon.
That's only of the holding aces or luck in the chamber bullet, so it's not overall.
I know, like we're splitting hairs, but I think
I'm just saying I use Hawkmoon a ton. Don't condemn it before we try it.
You do use it a ton, and I think you're going to use it a little less after this update.
But I'd like to. I would like to use auto rifles as well.
It would be great, right? But the way Bungie's doing this right now, it's not working. All that happens is something else becomes king. They nerf that, and they're nerfing things down to the point where nothing is great. Everything's just going to kind of be like, eh.
This is conspiracy theorist talk, as far as I'm concerned.
No,
we had this conversation.
They're trying their best to make the game better, and I don't feel like they're succeeding.
But there's only been it's barely been out the door. This is the point, right? I mean, do you like that it's all pulse and shotgun in PvP?
No,
I would
like to see it normalized, but if they're gonna do all these weapon adjustments, do it across the board, figure out how you want your game to be, get it balanced internally, and then release a major patch.
Well, but that's what they're doing.
No, they're not. They're doing it in little steps, and every time they don't get it right, which is why they release another patch.
I think you are highly generalizing how this works. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
You really are. Like, meaning, what do you think? Like, there's like, you know what? 1.2 sounds good to me.
No.
I know you didn't test it, Joe, but let's just roll it out. Like, it doesn't work that way.
The problem is, no, they're definitely thinking about it and considering all these variables. And the thing is, they're releasing patches for some of the things and missing out on how that's going to impact the overall game and what will come out as king.
Well, right, but they're doing what you're asking. Like, okay, pulse rifles are getting downgrade just a tad because they're overly powerful. Hand cannons are getting a little better at the close range. You know, they're increasing the ADS accuracy. You know, they're touching shotguns and bringing them down a little. They're also bringing charge rates up on fusion a little. At the same time, they are nerfing some stuff. But that is a lot of change.
I'm not mad that they're changing. I'm mad
they're touching everything.
Yeah, I'm not mad that they're changing. It's just kind of like it's never worked. They've never gotten it right. There's always something that comes out on top, and then that's the weapon everybody has to use for the month or two. Sean, you've been pretty quiet. What are your thoughts?
Well, we've been arguing pretty loudly.
Yeah, my thoughts in general. Let's see. It's really, really difficult to balance a game like this, but I don't think that the answer is separating PvE and PvE balancing, because the whole idea of
PvE
Destiny.
and PvP, yeah.
You said
both, yeah.
He needs to eat breakfast or lunch or whatever.
I haven't eaten anything yet. What I meant was I don't think that splitting up the balancing from PvE and PvP is the answer to to PvP specific problems, right? Because like you guys pointed out, shotguns aren't an issue in PvE because you're not often getting close to these big mobs that you're fighting. But at the same time, the idea behind Destiny is that you work both on your own and in PvE and in PvP to acquire weapons and guns that you can use in any situation. So if you're suddenly splitting the balance for PvE and PvP, you're creating two different tracks by which people earn and want to acquire weapons, which I don't think is their goal at all. Like, it's all unified, right? That said, I get wrecked all the time in Trials and Iron Banner by a Titan with an overshield who's just running at me with a party crasher, and I can't kill him fast enough. Yeah, like I can't kill him fast enough. Yeah. By the time, like, he'll be a pretty good distance away, and I can't kill him fast enough, even with Red Death. Because of that overshield.
Yeah. You just got to run. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the meta right now for Titans is you run Defender, you run no backup plans. That way when you get shotgun kills, you get an overshield, which allows you to get more shotgun kills because then you can close distance faster. And you just Titan skip around, and that's broken. I mean, let me walk that back. I don't think it's broken. It's very, very strong. And maybe time will tell if there are people who can figure out how to combat that, but I think that I think that changes need to be made, but I don't necessarily know if splitting up PvP and PvE weapon balancing is the way to do it.
I think PvE is fantastic. The way they have the weapons balanced at the launch of Taken King, year 2, I'm like, this is really good. Weapons work how I like it. You know, I don't really feel like PvE needs to be adjusted all that much.
How funny would it be is if
PvP, they need to figure out a good balance for everything. I see this a lot in the comments, and people are like, oh, we're beta testing Destiny. And like, I'm like, no, we're not. Like, be quiet. But the more they patch PvP, the weapons and everything, I'm like, geez, we really are. We're really helping them find out like where things.
Yeah. But I mean, that's how it's always been in games like this. Is like you listen to the community a lot and you feel out what they think is powerful or underpowered, and you kind of make changes based on that, and in addition to what you're doing internally. But my whole thing is that in a game that's PvP oriented, like Counter-Strike, that's easier to do, right? Because you're only looking at the multiplayer. But here you have two things. You have PvE and PvP, and weapons can be used in both. So there's a lot more to consider, right? And they're very different. So that I don't know if splitting them up is the way to do it. But then also, I actually don't feel like pulse rifles are overpowered. They're strong, but something's always strong, right? Yeah. I actually think the big problem was that even at the height of their strength, with pulse rifles, none of them have a really low TTK, right? That was how you combated shotguns in the past, right? Like, I used to never think shotguns were all that powerful in year 1, even when people were whining all the time about shotguns being overpowered, because anytime someone would run at me with a shotgun, I could 3-shot them or 2-shot them with the last word.
If you saw them coming,
Yeah, but then, now they nerfed that. And now shotguns are kind of just running wild. Yeah. What I wanted to say was, wouldn't it be funny if the way they combated this going forward was they brought back Thorn and Last Word and made them like as powerful as they were before, and we just went back to year 1.
I got an accident, or on purpose.
I would love just reset to year 1 where auto rifles are king again.
Oh my gosh! Well, they're trying to get it closer to that. I do like that people are using pulse and stuff, but it's too much of that's going on.
You definitely don't want everyone using one weapon, but at the same time, I don't think that everyone using a whole bunch of different weapons is balance. Like, I make the argument for Halo 1, which is people are like, in Halo 1, the pistol is overpowered. I'm like, no, but everyone has the pistol and everyone can use it, so it's not overpowered.
That's right.
It's balanced.
Exactly.
I don't think that weapon variation or usage balance is equivalent to weapon.
Yeah, well, at some point you need better loadouts, better strengths for weapons. For your playstyle even, but at the end of the day, there's just going to be this is the weapon you should use. But for some people, it may not work for them. And yeah, I think that's what you're saying, Sean. Like, it can't just be totally like everything is 50%.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll be boring, you know. You would use everything. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
I would love to hear what the community has to say about this particular topic. And this is a podcast. This is a facilitator to get you guys talking about stuff. So let us know what you think in the comments below.
Also, tweet at us. We like to have these discussions on Twitter.
Yeah, tweet at us. You know, be respectful. We're friends talking about our favorite game. That's one of our favorite games. Yeah, I should say.
The game we play most, I think, is what you wanted to say. But,
definitely.
Not you lately. Probably Fallout is what you're playing more of.
At work, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're gonna actually close out the show. I know both of you guys have a lot to do today. Fran, is there anything we'd like to plug?
I like that you ask like I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
If you're listening to us, be sure to drop us a review on your favorite podcast platform. But also get in the comments. You know, it's the thing I've been reminding people most, like we were just saying. So let's have a conversation in there. Talk to other Destiny fans. There's too much people that continue to ask, why are we playing this game? But why are you on this video and listening to the show if you don't want to? So.
Mm-hmm. Also, that's a really cool shirt, Fran.
Thank you. Yeah. That's right. I forgot. I'm wearing my Fireteam chat shirt today in canary yellow, I believe, was what the offices decided that it is.
That's a bird.
We're going to call it Trials Yellow then. How about that?
There we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's better.
It is Trials Yellow, I think. But anyway, you can check it out on go.ign.com/store. Right? We have some Fireteam chat t-shirts there if you want them.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. We're going to close out the show with our traditional outro.
That's right. We got Jose.
Until next time, Guardians out.